Today I'm going to paint a sketch of a poppy field.
Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch, watercolor artist, teacher and a book author. Welcome to my studio.
Let's first find the horizon line. I will place it in about the center so we have a lot of opportunities to paint the field. Firstly, glaze the full page just with clean water. For the sky, I love to use cerulean blue, and you can add a bit of alizarin crimson, like this. And we have very cloudy sky, so I paint sky. I'm not painting clouds, so I'm painting in between and paint more horizontal stripes closer to the horizon. Let's make it a bit bright on the top. Then it will all softly dissolved. We can also lift up a little bit of paints with the help of clean damp brush. I dry my brush with a paper towel and trying to create a lot of horizontal stripes, imitating these very bright, long clouds around. And of course I can add a bit of accents, but in principle I let it add a bit of horizontal brush strokes. The sky is ready. Now let's paint the field part. I need to create pretty bold mix of green. I will use phthalo green. I will add a bit of cerulean, and I also will add a bit of cadmium red, which I'm going to use also for the poppies, but just a bit to make the green really deep, dark, and not that unnaturally green as phthalo blue is. And I just start to paint the field. The background I paint relatively plain, but I can leave a couple of bright spots in the front area. Not necessarily like in the reference or in reality if you paint life from nature. Just keep in mind to get a bit more space for the red flowers. Part close to the horizon line, a little bit warmer, I will add raw sienna to the mix and add a couple of horizontal brush strokes on the background, also imitating the structure of the field. I can add a couple of vertical brush strokes. And then relatively quickly I have to completely wash my brush, grab a good amount of red paint, relatively creamy, you see, I just get it right from the pan. I just sprinkle it to the field part. Ideally, you try to protect the sky, or not go very close with the brush to the sky. Add a couple of very quick dots, and they should be very quick because the longer you hold your brush, the bigger the stain will be, and if you just make it quick, it will be relatively small. So got pretty big thing here. I'm thinking to remove it slightly because it would be not so natural. I'm back to my green. I can add a couple of brush strokes on top. That's one option. Only while your paper is wet. Only while your paper is wet you can add some details. remove if you got some puddles underneath the type, just remove them. And then also for these types of painting, fields, flowers, always nice to add some salt. Now we let it all dry. Now after it all dried out, I removed salt. Now we see a very nice texture. And now it's time to work a little bit on the background. There are some buildings, trees. Again, I use my phthalo green and burnt sienna. My red for the roofs, for example. And I have pretty creamy mixes, so I can add a couple of random brush strokes for the roofs. And moving my brush horizontally, I can draw some imitation of the background. Some trees. To paint trees, you hold your brush vertically, and with the tip of the brush you touch the paper. That will make lovely vertical tree looking brush strokes. A bit more. You can wash your brush, dry it with a paper towel, and with damp brush soften some edges, work a bit on details, a couple of trees, quick brush strokes, a bit more in horizontal. There is some beginning of the field which is slightly darker, grass or stems in the front. Same mix I used for the background. A bit of vertical, not vertical, but quick brush strokes on the foreground, and couple of red, pretty defined shapes on the front. I pick up the most light areas to add those defined parts of poppies. Can also go and add a bit of textured idea around some sparkles, but the paper is dry, therefore it would not create these big splashes. You can also use the back side of the brush to create vertical lines. Now let's remove the type. So now our quick sketch of a poppy field is ready.
Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope you enjoyed the process. I'm looking forward to know what would you like to paint next. And see you soon. Bye bye.